Hi friends, welcome to Tabletop Tonight. I'm your host Ruel Gaviola, and today I'm doing Ruel's wrap-up. This is where I look back on the games that I played in the previous month. So I'm recording this on February 6th here on Twitch with my friends in chat, and you all can join us every first Monday of the month. And what is today? Yeah, today's the 6th. It is Monday, February 6th. These are the games I played last month. I want to kick things off a little differently this time. I want to look back on the games I played on Board Game Arena. Now, I didn't rank these. I just listed them. I went to Board Game Arena. This is an online site. You can play games for free. I am a premium member, so if you pay a small fee per month, then you get access to all the features and certain games. As you can see here, I played a ton of games. I played 76 different games, or 76 times on Board Game Arena with friends from Discord, our Discord community, the FamBam. You can join that community by clicking on the links below. But as you can see, I'm a big backgammon fan. This is where I go to. I want to shout out Joe, Old Man Coaster, and other friends who always join me for backgammon. I love it. One of my favorite all-time favorite abstract games. You also see I played a lot of Castles of Burgundy. Linnaeus is one of my good friends that have taught me almost everything I know about that game. I've played it. I loved it in the past, but I really feel like my game is ramped up thanks to Linnaeus. Also, I've played a bunch of Patchwork. My Shelfie is a new one from Phil Walker Harding, praise be. And that game, I haven't even played the physical version yet, but just getting to practice with friends in Discord like Dead Last Again, teaching me the game, I cannot wait to play the physical game. So I think that's what's really cool about Board Game Arena. It is, one of those things where you can stay connected to friends and play board games, even if you don't have access to them in the analog form. You can play them digitally as well. So, also Azul, Lost Seas, you can see Shifting Stone. So I played a bunch of different things. Just wanted to highlight a few of the highlights. Oh, at the very bottom, one of my all-time favorite games, Blood Rage. I'm a little iffy on the implementation here, and I think it's because I've been spoiled by the Steam version. The Steam version is so awesome. And the Board Game Arena version works, but there's a couple of little quirks that I wish they did better. It's just, for me, it's not as easy to see the board or navigate the board as easily as the Steam version. But hey, I still love the analog version. I still love Blood Rage. I'm terrible at it on BGA. But as you can see, they have so many different games. I tend to play lighter games, as you can see here, because I'm on the computer as enough as it is already. I just enjoy going. I have all these turn-based, so it's not real time. I make a move and then I go away, do things, I come back, and hopefully other people make their moves and I do. And then sometimes I'll get caught up in hey, if we just happen to be on at the same time, we can almost play it real time. So yeah, shout out to all the friends in Discord and the Tabletop Tonight community there. It's been awesome. And those are the games I played on Board Game Arena this week, or this month. Why don't we move on to the actual analog games that I played this month? So let me get this on screen for y'all watching on YouTube. We're going to kick things off. Oh, first we should move this out of the way. Where is that? There. Okay, BJ, you're going. Look at this game. What is this? It's my number 22, Quirky Circuits, Penny and Gizmo's Snow Day. This is the streamlined, lighter version of Quirky Circuits that came out. Michelle and I played this during Tabletop Live Network. To start off the year, we started doing things off our Shelf of Opportunity. This was one of them. It's a light programming game. You have the little, in this scenario, it's a booklet. You have different scenarios. This one, Penny, or is it Gizmo, the kitty cat? Gizmo, the gato, as I was calling him. Has to go around and clean up. If you can see, it's on a little vacuum, Roomba style machine. And you use programming cards to scoop all the dust bunnies. As you go along, and you have to do it in a certain number of turns, that's your energy. And, oh, hey, there's Mookie there. You can see Mookie, YouTube friends. I also record this for the podcast, so shout out to podcast friends listening to this. But anyways, there it is. Michelle and I got through this one. I liked it. I love the original one much better. It's a little more meatier. You can play up to, it's just different cards. They take out some of the pickup and delivery in this, but it's super cute game. And as a gateway game into the world of programming, I would highly recommend. Hey, and here we are on YouTube. I'm eating my gingerbread cookies that we made. Thanks to our friends at Board and Dice. But anyways, Quirky Circuits, Penny and Gizmo Snow Day is our number 22 from Plaid Hat Games. Let's move on to our number 21. This is Turtle Splash. And Turtle Splash from our friends at Lucky Duck. Oh, Michelle and I really enjoyed this one. It is basically Crokinole with some set collection, and it's geared towards kids. You're just, if you see it here on the YouTube video, or on if you're watching live, you're flicking this little disc, it's a turtle, into the lake, and it's on this little ramp that goes down, and as you flick it, depending on where it lands, you're going to draw or look at that many cards in the 4x3 grid of animals. They're all face down, so it's sort of got a memory element to it, and which is funny because Michelle and I, we have bad memory, so it's funny that like we'll turn stuff. I was like, oh, we don't remember where it was on. So the next turns, oh, where was that panda, or where was that lion? So what you're trying to do is just to match them. If you can match the lion that's on your player board, then you move up that spot. That's the first one to move all their animals to the end of the tracks. Super fun, super cute. It's a kids game, but as a filler for veteran gamers, I say why not? It's such a treat, and we'll play it with anyone. And if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, folks, we have a live Twitch chat going, and Kitty Cat says you played the funnest games. Thank you, Kitty Cat. We really enjoy that. It's so much fun, and we think it's perfect for anyone that's with kids, obviously, but even as a light filler for veteran gamers, why not? Our friend Board Game Mama says, this was another favorite of my children. The theme is cute. Yeah, absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Let's continue. Let's move on to our next game. Number 20 for the month of January is Gasha. Gasha, friends, was from 25th Century Games, and this is another light set collection game. But it's got a little bit of push your luck, and what you're doing is these are based on Japanese vending machines with the little toys, and you're trying to collect them. And as you look at the cards, there's a couple of different stacks of cards. On the backs of those cards will tell you what symbol may be on the other side. So you're sort of like, okay, I think this is going to be on this side. You select it, and then you add it to your tableau. And as you can see here, Michelle and I, we're collecting them. And as you collect, if you have enough, you're going to be able to get that prize, which is, as Michelle's doing there in the video. You get that prize, and it's going to be worth a certain number of points. You go until, I think it's until one of the stack of reward cards are gone. Some of these, it's cool. Some of them, if you collect them, they're going to give you special ability, which you draw. And then it could be either points, or it could be abilities, or, one-time exchanges. Such a cute theme. Again, another very family-friendly game. And a game that we enjoyed. Gasha. All right, moving on to our number 19 for the month of January is Star Trek Super Skill Pinball. I played this for our Discord challenge from our friends Legends and James. They do a somewhat bi-weekly solo challenge where everyone plays a solo game, then we share our scores. I love Super Skill Pinball, and as you can tell, I really enjoy Star Trek. Oh, you can't see my face in this one. Oh, maybe can I move it? I gotta show the face of this one because I had my Spock ears. There they are. Spock ears. This is a wonderful implementation of Super Skill Pinball. A roll and write game that is so surprised to me how it captures the feeling of pinball. I mean, you're rolling dice, and the ball is moving down because of gravity, and slowly but surely you are going to, hit bumpers, hit skill shots, hit different point values, and eventually it's going to hit the flipper, so you have to flip it back up using the numbers on the dice, and eventually the ball's going to drain. Your game is over, but hopefully you'll score a ton of points by then. I really enjoyed the Trouble with Tribbles. It had this really neat twist where you're trying to score a bunch of tribbles, because that's just like in the Star Trek episode, but there are certain thresholds. If you go over a little too much, you're going to actually start losing points, so you're trying to get the timing just right. Such a fun game. I really enjoyed this. Our friend Linnaeus, one of our moderators in chat, says, play this one while at a restaurant. Oh, the owner came by, was super curious, and wanted to roll the dice for me. Oh, nice. I love that. Yeah, folks, do you all play games in public or at restaurants? Michelle and I do sometimes. Our friend Linnaeus does. That's such a cool thing. I love seeing that. Okay, that was my number 19. I'm going to hydrate. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to stay hydrated, friends. It's very important. And I'm going to move on to my number 18 game played in the month of January. It was another. I'm very fortunate. I play some really fun games. Number 18 is Azul Master Chocolatier. This is me and my buddy Daryl B. Gaming. We played this for the Tabletop Live Network. We actually played this on TLN's channel. If you don't know TLN, folks, I'll put a link in the show notes below. But TLN is a monthly collaboration between me, the Brothers Murph, and a bunch of people around the world where we stream board games over an entire weekend at the end of the month. And Daryl and I decided to do this funny little thing where we played with a chess clock. It's a new show here that I'm doing on the channel where we call it On the Clock. We play games in super fast, basically. It's a chess clock. We each gave ourselves 7 minutes, so 14 minutes total to play Azul Master Chocolatier. There's there's thinking, but you have to, think on your you got to be on your toes, you got to think quickly. And Master Chocolatier is just like Azul, but there's a couple of tiles in the middle. You flip those over, they give you special abilities. Like one here that we're playing, when you take off the tile, you don't actually push the other tiles into the middle. You just keep those there. Another one is the first player to take it. It actually counts towards your, where you drop tiles. So you put a tile there. Instead of -1, it's a 0. So you don't lose anything. Really clever twist of the game. Daryl's a big sweets fan. So, of course, Chocolatier, he was all over that. He crushed me in this game. It was so much fun. I love this show that we're doing On the Clock, where we've done a bunch of games. We actually played... For the TLN show, we played 4 games in 90 minutes, which is insane to me. And then here on the channel, again, check the show notes below, Daryl and I played Stone Age in under 30 minutes. We gave each other 50 minutes. That's normally like an hour and a half game. So much fun. It is. Now, it's not for everyone. It's stressful, but it's a fun type of stress, and our thing is, if you run out of time on your move, you just lose automatically. So out of the 4 games we played, only one of us lost the game where we ran out of time. I'm not going to talk about that. Well, maybe I'll talk about it in just a minute here. But that's my number 18, Azul Master Chocolatier. Moving right along to number 17, Agropolis. I played this on my channel, a solo game. This was not part of the solo challenge. This is part of my alphabet board game challenge. I'm trying to play a game, with each letter of the alphabet, starting with A. This is the start of it, Agropolis. Wonderful game. It's basically the re-theme of Sprawlopolis. It does have a couple little different scoring things, I believe. If you've never played a Button Shy game, please do, folks. Go check them out. 18 cards. Wonderful, wonderful, smart game. This one, you're just laying down cards, trying to connect different areas. But what's really clever, just like Sprawlopolis, each card on the back of them has a different scoring condition. So you're going to you have your standard scoring, which is different areas connected to each other. But then at the start of the game, you randomly choose 3 cards, and those are going to give you specific scoring conditions for your game. I think I had to get, in this game, it looks like I had to get different shapes as far as certain sections or, whatever. So good. I love Sprawlopolis. I love Agropolis. That was my first one for the Alphabet Board Game Challenge. I think it's it's a winner, and I highly recommend it. Button Shy Games, they do fantastic work, folks. So check out number 17, Agropolis. Next up, number 16, Karuba. This was for my birthday board game stream. I did this extended stream, 9.5 hours it turned out to be. It was so much fun. Gave out a bunch of games, and my good friend Mike Murphy joined me for this one, and actually him and his baby Logan. I think she's in the crib or the stroller next to him right there. But we played with chat. Karuba is a classic bingo style game. You just call tiles out and you put that number anywhere on your board, trying to connect your adventurers to the temple. I still love this game, and I think it's like the perfect game to play online, especially on a stream or with friends in chat or whoever, because only one person needs to copy the game, honestly. Mike, he just used a piece of graph paper, and he was just drawing like his, his path. So good. It's a Rudiger Dorn design, a wonderful game. It's such a classic. I highly recommend. Karuba. It's a family favorite. You can play as many players as you got copies, but again, you can just use graph paper to draw your paths. So that is number 16, Karuba. Next up, number 15, and I gotta say it the way people say it, boop! This one, also my birthday stream, I played with chat. I was the Orange Cats, and I add people in chat were just telling me where to place them. This is a abstract game at its heart with a super, super cute theme. Kitty cats jumping on a bed, and as you do, once you land on any square you place on the grid, and it's an actual quilt that you use. It's so cute. If there are any adjacent cats, you boop, they fly out one space outwards. If they can fall off the bed too. And the object is you start with kitties, turn those kitties into cats, and eventually get 3 cats in a row. So it's got that tic-tac-toe element, but nothing like tic-tac-toe with just the way that it works. It's so brilliant. I adore this game, and I'm hyped about this game because it's the type of game that gets more players than the hobby. You see this at a Barnes & Noble, or it's not at Target yet, but I know it's at Barnes & Noble. If a casual player, gamer comes by, or just someone maybe not into games, they see this, they're going to be immediately attracted to, I mean, come on, it's super cute cats. Why not? And then when you see the rule book there, that's literally just 2 pages of rules. Easy to get into, but tons of strategy. Michelle and I loved it. This was the game that I actually played with chat. And chat, y'all beat me, so I want a rematch. And that is our number 15, Boop. All right, next up is number 14, Kingdomino, another game that Daryl B. Gaming, my good buddy, and I played on Tabletop Live Network. As you can see there, we gave each other 2 minutes to play games, so we played it in under 4 minutes. Now, we did pause anytime we had to refill the tiles, because we felt that wasn't fair for one player to lose time if we're just refilling tiles. But we still kept up the pace, and it was the fastest game of Kingdomino I've ever played. I love this game. Bruno Cathada classic. Another one that's really great for new gamers. Dominoes, and you're just trying to connect the different land terrain, and you score points if you have a crown on that land terrain, and it's a multiplier. So a bunch of crowns, you're going to multiply by 2, 3, 4, and up. With Daryl and I, we're thinking maybe we could try this in 3 minutes, give each other 90 seconds rather than 2 minutes. Who knows? We'll give it a shot, but that's our sort of on-the-clock segment for Kingdomino as well. One of the 4 we played in 90 minutes for the TLN event last month. I'm going to hydrate again. And let's continue to our lucky number 13 game of the month, Patchwork. Who did I play? Okay, this one. Now I'm showing an older playthrough. I was talking about the TLN channel earlier. We started streaming TLN, and I was the first one to stream on the TLN channel. And of course, on Twitch, I totally forgot to turn on the switch that saves the playthrough. So I played it solo using the Automa deck. There was a solo Automa deck you can order from Lookout Spiel, the publisher. And I actually, as I say that, I just realized when I talk about it live, it's sold out. So maybe they'll come back into printing, but if you do find it, it may be on BGG. It's a wonderful way to play solo. It's just a deck of cards, and it's a challenge, too. Quite a challenge. Here, Michelle and I played a 2-player game. It's one of our favorites. The classic Uwe Rosenberg game of tile lane and resource management. Those buttons, that currency, you've got to use them to buy more pieces to your quilt. Awesome theme. Love it. We played it dozens and dozens of times. And I definitely got better at this game after playing with Michelle for so many years, because it's just for whatever reason, she always had like a ton of income and always crushed me, because at the end of the game, that income helps you get points. It helps you buy pieces, but it also gives you points at the end of the game. And, classic Uwe, you are going to be penalized for empty spots in your quilt. So it's a lot of times you can get negative scores. But if you're smart, like I do, I just follow Michelle and it's like, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of buttons for this game during the game, and hopefully offset those negative points. All right, number 13, Patchwork. Love that game. Let's move on to number 12, Mantis. This was my surprise game of the month. I learned this at PAX U and ended up getting a copy that just this one random day early in the year. It might have been January 1st, who knows. But Exploding Kitten said, we're going to give away Mantis for free. You just paid for shipping. So a $20 game. I paid $7 for shipping. Got it. played it a ton. Michelle and I, it's just an instant hit. This is the best, I think, for my money, the best game on the market as far as the mass market is concerned to get players into games. We talked about Gasha earlier. This is a very similar mechanism where you can see what's on that card on the backs of the cards. So there's 3 different types. And what you're doing is you either try to match it on one of yours, that means you're going to score it, or you're going to try to match it on one of your opponents and you're going to steal it. So if you steal it, it goes in your tank, and then if you get something matched on your tank, then you score that. It's a race to 10 points, or in a 2-player game, a race to 15 points. It's basically Gasha, but even more streamlined. With Gasha, you have some set collection, and you do have some extra abilities, and you're going to score points at the end of the game. This is just a race to 15 or 10 points in multiplayer game, and I highly recommend this. I was so surprised. It's light. It plays super quickly. I mean, we played a couple of games. Each game's like 5 minutes for 2 players. But I think it's just fantastic. I was so surprised, and I'm a big fan of the Oatmeal, or at least I was. I don't really read the Oatmeal these days. But Matthew Inman, he's created this, really bizarre, not bizarre, but just sort of offbeat, quirky world. And in this is talking about his love for the Mantis shrimp. They actually include the original comic in the game too. So really fun game. Highly recommend. This is my number 12, Mantis. All right, so let's move on to number 11. Hey, another surprise game. I love this game so much. Michelle and I blown away by Quarto. Now we're at number 11, Quarto. Another type of, I don't know, just one of those things that takes a classic mechanism like tic-tac-toe. 3 in a row. This makes it 4 in a row, right? Big whoop. But here's the thing. You have these really nice chunky wooden pieces. There are 2 shades, dark and light. There are 2 shapes, circle and square. Some are hollow, some are solid, some are tall, and some are short. Why this matters is because you need to get 4 of the same type in a row. So you can get 4 circles in a row, 4 squares in a row, 4 dark, 4 light, 4 hollow, 4 solid, or 4, it's brilliant because of this one twist. You pick the piece your opponent places on the board. So on their turn, you select one and they have to place it. I love that twist, and it's so interesting, to me that, okay, now you're thinking, wait, I want Michelle to do this, but wait, I've got to give her this piece because I don't want her to win, because she's going to win if I give her the circle piece at this point. It's brilliant, friends. It was so surprising. And something about Gigamech, the company that makes this, they do a bunch of games that start with Q. Quarto, Corridor, I think is another one. But I played I think 3 or 4 of them. I can't remember the names except for Quarto. But I've liked them all. And they all really, you think they're simple because, it's just a couple of wooden pieces, a board, and it's trying to get them in a row or in a column or whatever. But every single one I've played has been so engaging and so smart and just so neatly conceived that I feel like I can recommend almost anything from their line. But in this case, it's number 11, Quarto. All right, moving right along. We're going to the top 10 now, folks, of the games I played last month. In January, number 10, Stone Age. One of my all-time favorite worker placement games. This still gets to the table every so now and then. But here's the thing. Daryl and I mentioned this earlier, we were playing games on the clock with the chess clock. We gave each other 15 minutes to play Stone Age. 30 minutes total. We did it. We knocked it out of the park. Again, during the cleanup phase, we would pause the timer to refill the board and stuff and clean up. But Stone Age is so good. You get to roll dice for resources, so there's a little bit of that luck element, but there's ways to mitigate it. You're trying to feed your people as well. It's very Uwe Rosenberg. After each round, you better have the food for your people. If you don't, you're going to lose points, and losing points in this is huge. I love the end game goals. I actually, Daryl and I played it, and he mentioned he plays for the set collections aspect of the game. I play for the end game goals. So during the game, he was crushing me, but I made this huge comeback. At the end game goals, I think I ended up beating him by 4 points. Very close game. Classic worker placement. Highly recommend. It doesn't. It's just so. It's a game that, after all these years, it still gets to the table often. And for me, now we just played the base game. For me, I really love the expansion. It has like this overlay that you put, and it includes another resource and another track that you have to work with. I think it's so much fun. Let's continue now with number 9, folks. So number 10, Stone Age. Let's move right along. We're deep in the top 10 now. Canvas. Hey, another game that Daryl and I played on the clock segment, this time for TLN. I had played this last year with, or was it 2 years ago, with the Funkhausers, Derek and Lizzie, over there on Board Game Spotlight. I got to visit there in their home. They taught me this game for the first time. It was insta-love. And this reminded me, I need to get a copy of this game, because I know Michelle's going to love it, because she loves art-themed games. And we are artists, and they take the Mystic Veil card crafting style mechanism, where you're taking these sleeves, placing them over. But in this case, it's beautiful. You are literally creating a painting with these different sleeves. And as you do, depending on what set you're collecting or what goals are there, you're going to score different points. Daryl and I played this, I think, in 10 minutes or so. Or no, 14 or 15 minutes. Canvas, we could have easily done it a lot quicker. But this is the game I want to take off the clock and just enjoy it with Michelle and take my time and slide the little sleeves and make my masterpiece and enjoy it. Excellent game. Number 9, Canvas. Time to take another hydration break, folks. Do it with me if you have one at home. Let me know in chat or in the comments below what you're drinking these days. I'm sticking with water. Number 8 is Delicious. We're just talking about staying hydrated. Don't forget to eat well as well, friends. This one was a sponsored stream for TLN from our friends at Pencil First. Delicious is their roll and write game, and I've talked about this with Rado. Rado is a big fan of Steve Finn, the designer. I am too. Rado calls Steve Finn the king of the filler. I tend to agree with that. This is their roll and write version of the beautiful, game of growing plants. It's such a lovely theme, right? I love themes, nature or food, especially this one, food. Growing plants or veggies and fruits. What you're doing is it's a flip and fill. You're going to flip over a card, and it's got that sort of dual draft thing that we've talked about before, where you flip it over, you're going to have a veggie card, and you're going to have a fruit token or a tool. You can use that to fill in your different containers, and you also have, so you have to fill them up bottom to top, and if you fill it up, sort of like, it reminds me of Herbaceous, where one container must have all the same veggies, one container has to have different veggies, another has to have pairs of veggies, but then they add this really cool spatial puzzle on the fruit planter, where you're trying to get the fruits lined up. If you get them 3 in a row, you'll get points. If they're the same, you get 3 or more in a row that are different, you'll get other point values. And then at the end, you'll have a race basically to I think it's the honey jar, where if you're the first to complete the top section or bottom section, you get that for more points. And oh gosh, it's so good. Michelle and I played this twice on stream, then a few times before and after, and such a lovely roll and write. That's why it's our number 8, my number 8 for the month. Delicious. Okay, going to number 7, lucky number 7. We had lucky number 13. We'll have lucky number 7, Colorfield. Another surprise to me. I wasn't sure what to expect in this game, but I did this. Michelle and I did this for Rado's channel. We played through it and ended up really enjoying this. It's a light tile laying game, and again, the theme really appeals to Michelle, because anything with art or painting, she really loves that theme. And you're just taking these swatches of color. They have 4 different colors, and you place it on your canvas to make this sort of abstract-y style piece of art. And what you're trying to do is connect all the different colors, but you'll never do it. Okay, there's 4 colors. You can try to connect it as best you can, but some of them won't be as the area won't be as big, because you're trying to score, get bigger areas connected. You'll score more points. Some of the tiles have point values on them. You want to put those together to get those points. And it plays in 3 rounds. It's a really snappy game, but here's the thing. It's thinkier than you expect. And then the little special abilities at the end of each round, were they tool cards? I forget what they're called exactly. but those change the game, and you're going to just draw them at random. Now you can play without these for the base game, which is great for casual gamers. But I really think the game shines with those variants because it'll change the scoring, it'll give you abilities, it just makes the game a little more in depth, which I really enjoy. Whoops, let me show the video a little more. Michelle and I really, really enjoy this, and as you can see, the 3 different rounds, you can draw different tiles, and they progress. By the 3rd round, you're gonna be able to do these hopefully bigger areas with more point values on them. But each round you have to start over. You're starting with a base, basically a base coat, your foundational colors, and then you're going to replace colors as you draft them, swap them in and out. As you can see here in the YouTube video, I've been able to connect a bunch of points there, colors, and that's going to give me a lot of points. Now, at the start, you're like, oh, how am I going to do this? But as the game progresses, you start to figure it out. And I really liked it. That's why it's my number 7 color field. All right. Almost to the top 5, folks, but we're got to do number 6 first. Number 6 on the list of games I played last month. This is a game that I've streamed plenty of times. I've talked about plenty of times. Y'all, I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball, and I love Baseball Highlights 2045. This is from my most recent solo play on the stream. It's a deck building game, one of the best ones out there. It's almost more of a hand management game because as you build your deck, you draft players. It's so thematic. You're drafting players, and then you send one to the minors, which in Dominion speak would be trashing a card. Here you send to the minors, but I really love the back and forth of this game. It really does remind me of a baseball game, a duel, right? And that's why I think it's best as a solo or 2-player game. You play a card, you're going to either, you're going to threaten a hit or, whatever, a single, double, triple home run. Then your opponent can play a card and offset that, like with an automatic out or change a hit to a walk. And you go back and forth for 6 cards. That's it. 6 cards. And at the end of the 6 cards, you're going to have a baseball game played. And the scores are really lined up well. Like, it's never like, 40-20 or anything like that. Because you play, and you can totally, as your opponents are playing, you can match them, like really get into this, hey, I'm going to get them out right now and save a better card for later, or I'm going to use a really strong card now, and hopefully later they're weaker. And the scores, typically are like baseball scores. I've played games that are 1-0. I play games that are, 5-4, 6-2, very on par with, normal baseball game. And after each mini game, so the game, it's like the mini game that you play, like a baseball game is like maybe 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and you're playing best out of 7. It's a World Series, and the game itself, the World Series, takes 30 to 45 minutes. Between each game, you're going to draft new players. That's just to build your deck. I love everything about this game. I highly, highly recommend it. I cannot play. I will never get rid of this game. This is the best baseball game out there, and one of my favorite games of all time with deck building in it. That's my number 6, Baseball Highlights 2045. All right, let's continue. I'm going to take another sip of water. And as you're watching this on YouTube, folks, I stream this live on Twitch. I want to say hi to all my Twitch friends coming in. Really appreciate y'all. And folks on YouTube, if you want to watch, I do this several times a week on Twitch. I play games. I talk about games. Feel free to join me. Click on the link below. We're going to move to our number 5 game played last month. I'm ranking them all. I played 22 board games, analog games. I played a bunch on BGA. This one was one of the board games I was just talking about, Splendor Duel. This... I was talking about how Daryl and I have been playing on the clock. We give each other a very limited amount of time on a chess clock to play a game. We gave each other 5 minutes, a total of 10 minutes of playing Splendor Duel. If one of us ran out of time, we automatically lost. I'm the one, folks. Spoiler alert, I lost this game because I ran out of time. We had just started getting our engines built in this. It's just like Splendor engine building, trying to collect gems, improve them, get, jewelry and gems that are worth points. Just started getting the engine built, and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally ran out of time. So that was a fun aspect. If you haven't played Splendor Duel, one of my favorite games of 2022. This takes Splendor. Bruno Cathala takes Marc-André's design, and I believe improved on it and made it into a game that for gamers, this is the one you're going to want to play. Now, having said that, I will not get rid of Splendor. I still love that for its gateway potential. Very easy to teach that aspect of engine building to new players. But Splendor Duel, if you've played games for a little while, this is the one that's going to give you little tougher decisions. And I love the fact that it gives you 3 different win conditions. It's no longer a race to 15 points. It's a race to 20 points. But along with that race to 20 points, you can also get, if you get 10 points in one color, like all 10 points in red, you automatically win. Then the third win condition is the crowns. The crowns are new additions to the game. They also have, so basically some cards have crowns on them. If you get 10 in your tableau, you automatically win immediately. And those crowns are on certain cards, along with special abilities are in certain cards. Those allow you to get another turn. They allow you a little bit of take that, where you could take a gem from your opponent. What I really enjoy and love about this game is how they did the resources in this. So in the original, you could just grab resources, right? Oh, I want a white, red, and blue gem. In this case, you have a board. As you can see there, Darryl and I, we're taking gems to the board. You can take up to 3 in a row. They cannot be a yellow one. The yellow is still used as a reserve, so you can take one of those yellows, reserve a card, you're good. But in this case, you're going to take the gems, and if there are no more gems or you don't like what's on there, you're going to have to take an action to refill it, and that gives your opponent a privilege token. The privilege token gives them, ways to grab tokens for free. So it's a really nice mix. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite games of 2022, Splendor Duel. Now, I'll probably not play this speed round wise again, or speed run, because I lost. So we shall see if we do that again. Let's move on to number 4 for the month, Keystone North America. Yet another tile laying game. This is an absolutely gorgeous game. Another game that I was so surprised by how crunchy it was. So you're just, I thought Cascadia at first. I was like, oh, it's a little like Cascadia. It is not. Nothing like it. It is so crunchy and thinky. You can see there as I do the close-up there. I've got the rule book up. Let me move forward a little bit in the video. You're just selecting habitats with animals on them and place them in a 4x4 grid. But here's the thing. You have to really pay attention to the numbers that are on them, because you want them ascending or descending. And not just rows, but columns. So can you score across and up or down? That's the $1 million question, $20,000 question. So crunchy. Then they've got these actions that you can use too to swap cards around, move resources. You have your secret missions that you can complete. I'm playing the solo game here. The solo game is great because it's got a campaign of 20 different games that add mechanisms and changes the scoring as you go along. I love this game from Rose Gauntlet. I think it's a winner. That's why it's my number 4, Keystone North America. All right, moving on to number 3. Top 3, folks. What do you think they are? The first one is the Castles of Burgundy. So I played this a bunch on BGA. And, my skills, I like to credit Linnaeus Cabal for improving my skills in Castles of Burgundy. I still love the classic OG version, which I have right here. And I played it solo using a BGG variant that's on there. Very simple variant. Basically, you just roll a die, and that die, you're going to remove tiles from the board. So it's like another player has taken tiles from you, from your choices. But other than that, it's so much fun. I love playing Castles of Burgundy, and this gives me, hey, I can play the solo version on the table, and even though I play it more in BGG or BGA these days, I still like the feeling of, the tactile sensation of having tiles in my hand and placing tiles. Now, I will give this to BGA. It's a lot easier to handle scoring because, I forget things here like, oh, I know I forgot a time when I could have got like, it gives you like a +1 or -1 on taking a tile. I know I probably missed something like that. But I love solo gaming. I'm always going to be a solo gamer. And Castles of Burgundy is a classic for a reason. Highly well regarded. And just by everyone that I know. It's a point salad game. It's a 7-fell game. And you can solo it as well, thanks to that BGG variant. So that's why it's my number 3. Going to move on to number 2. We've got 2 more, folks. This is it. Project L Finesse. Yet another tile laying game. But this one, I feel like, is probably the cream of the crop that I played this month. Michelle and I played with the Finesse expansion. Now, the game is no longer available. Unfortunately, Board Cupator went out of business. When they announced that they're having a fire sale, or a going away sale, going out of business sale. So, of course, I had to pick up the expansions, which I never played with. I could not believe how much better the game got. Now, the base game is fine. It is a mix of puzzle building with your Tetris-style pieces and engine building, where, you know, as you build certain pieces, you're going to get points at the end and or parts, different parts that will help you build more puzzles. So it's a really nice mix of mechanisms. But you add finesse, it adds in more, like, it adds in-game goals that you want to shoot for. It adds a currency. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll still play the base game, but I feel like anytime I pull this game out, I want to play with finesse. It is that good. And, you know, I did a tile lane, my top 10 tile lane games last year. I totally had a brain fart, part of my language, right? I totally forgot to put Project L in there. But now with Project L Finesse, it's going to rocket maybe to the top. Who knows of my list for this year. Project L Finesse, fantastic game. So it's a bummer. Yes, Board Incubator went out of business. But I have friends in our Discord community, which you can click on the link below to join. They have found copies, you know, secondary market. They found it different places. You can still find it, but I feel like this is a game that someone needs to pick up and republish. It's so good and so underrated. Yes, so hopefully someone will pick up the rights. Okay, my number one game for the month, though, I don't think it's a tile layer. No, it's not. It is not a tile laying game. I could not get enough of this game. It's my number one game played in January. Heat, Pedal to Metal. I played a solo game for the Rahdo Runs Through channel. I think this is easily one of my favorite racing games of all time. Top 3, I'm just going to put it out there. Is it my number one? I gotta think about that. But it's from the designer of Flamme Rouge. I love Flamme Rouge. That's always been one of my favorite racing games. This is Flamme Rouge more for gamers. It's a hand management game, but they add a bunch of different things, such as the heat cards, which is so crucial in this game. It basically clogs up your hand. You have a heat card. You need to put, you know, it's in the name of the game. Heat, pedal to metal. You want to put your pedal to metal, go faster, and win the race. But as you do, your engine is going to heat up. And basically, the heat card goes in your hand. You cannot get rid of that card. So you have a hand of 7 cards. If you got 3 heat, now you only have 4 to choose from. That hurts. So you're going to have to shift down a gear. The gear that you're in, that's how many cards you play. So if you're in first gear, you only play 1 card. You're in 4th gear, you play 4 cards, right? So you go super fast. But as you go down those lower gears, you're going to be able to cool off because you're lower gear. That lets you discard those heat cards. So good. There's a little push your luck as well. There's a way to, you know, boost your speed, where you're basically going to say, okay, I'm going to boost. You're going to flip over cards until you hit one with a speed symbol on it. And if you get that, you're going to add that to your total. Now, here's the thing. If you go over the speed limit on the corner, you're going to spin out and it's going to hurt. And you're going to, you know, lose track. You're going to lose spaces to your opponent, but you're also going to, you know, hurt yourself as far as, you know, cards in your hand. And oh gosh, I'm looking at the video right now. I'm just remember how good it was. There's weather tokens that you can play with. It's an optional modular expansion built in the game. Weather allows you to go, you know, either slower or faster, or it'll increase the speed limit or decrease it. Different factors for different parts of the track. Oh my gosh. What I loved the most about the solo game was how easy it was to manage. It's an Automa deck, so you just flip it over, and depending on how many cards you have, I mean, I was playing a solo game with 2 other AIs. You can play them all. There's 6 in the game, so I could have played a 6-player game with me versus 5 AIs. All you do is flip over the card and move those cards, the car to that part of the track. Oh, it's brilliant. I cannot get enough of this game. That's why it's my number one for the month. Heat, Pedal to the Metal. There you go, friends. Let me know what you played last month, what were your favorites, or what you're looking forward to playing this month. Thank you for joining me. I do this once a month, and I live stream this on Twitch all the time. I actually, all the time, what I do is play a bunch of games on Twitch. I'd love for you to hang out with me there. Again, click the show notes below, click the like or subscribe button. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.